Children, should they be allowed in first class?
Hello? You're currently on the phone with KCK. Yep, that's me.
I'm home. I'm finally back in my cozy little basement room with no windows. The scrapbook room. We're back. With all my stuff. All my pop culture, my pop girlies memorabilia. I've got about 30 Taylor Swifts looking at me from a popcorn bucket. Scratch that. 3 popcorn buckets and 2 Taylor Swift cups. They still have them at movie theaters, and so every time I go, I always get another one. So I think I have 5 now. I think so. My cousin and I went to Argyle a few weeks ago, and she got her snacks or whatever first, and she has a Taylor Swift cup. I'm like, oh, I want that. And I go and order mine. I was like, can I get a Sprite? I'm like, in that cup. And I point to Sadie's cup. And the girl laughs. She's like, oh, trust me, you'll be definitely getting one of these because we're trying to get rid of them. And then I went to Dune at a completely different theater, like, I don't know, 40 miles away from the other one. And they still had Taylor Swift cups. And I'm like, I'll take that. They also, you guys, had, the first thing I saw when I walked in was the Willy Wonka popcorn. I guess it's a bucket, but it's his hat. And if you know me, I've been wanting that for so long, so I finally got it. And it was on sale, or as in Utah, on sale. And yeah, so I have that now. I have 3 Taylor Swift buckets. I have the Mean Girls cup. I didn't get the Mean Girls burn book bucket, but who knows? Maybe if I really want it, I will go on eBay and get it. I think, am I the only one that really shops on eBay? eBay is like the place you go when you want something very specific and I guess mostly used, I guess what it would be. But like that's where I go for a lot of magazines that I can't find in Utah. It's really hard to find magazines. It's like very like obscure magazines at places in Utah. And so a lot of times I'll go on to eBay and get them. Just like the Kim Kardashian GQ that I forgot to buy. And I still can't believe that. I can't believe I forgot to buy it. It's my favorite magazine cover all year, and I forgot to buy it. And I think it's because I talked about it so much that I just spaced it, I guess. I really don't understand. And I guess I thought I had it because I talked about it and reposted it. And anyway, so I went on eBay. I got one. Like I scoured, the best pictures, make sure it didn't have any scuff marks or anything. And I'll say the people that sell magazines, like the ones that do it like continuously, they know what they're doing. They sent this magazine in double or whatever bubble wrap, like what is that, first priority or whatever envelope. What is that thing that why am I stuttering? At UPS, no, USPS. Anyway, they sent it in 2 of those bubble wrap things, and they put cardboard around the edges so they wouldn't bend, and a cardboard like behind the magazine so it wouldn't bend like in half. And I'm like, these people know what they're doing because people like me want these magazines in pristine condition. And the people that are selling the magazines that have the stickers on them with their names still, they like tear them off or scratch them off. I'm like, we don't want that. Like, don't even try and sell that. We don't want that. I actually have canceled several magazines because they print the name on your name and address on the cover. And like, why would you do that? I guess no one else cares about magazines like I do, but at least put them on the back or something. And then they started like putting like little sticky stuff on so you could tear them off, but then the sticky stuff just stays on there and it ruins it. So I've canceled many magazine subscriptions. Also, this might be just in my head, but I'm pretty sure the magazines that they send you like subscription wise are cheaper than other, like regular ones you buy in store. they're like thinner and flimsier, and the ink's not as good. I know I sound crazy. I know, but if you have as many magazines as I do, you you shouldn't question me. Honestly, you really shouldn't question me because I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I've actually called magazine companies and specifically asked how they print their labels on the front. And some of them they put in plastic bags, and that's fine because then they put like your name on a little cardboard thing, and then you can just throw it away. But a lot of them don't do that anymore, probably because it's too expensive or whatever. But yeah, and if you know me, I hate calling and getting. I just hate calling. Like I would rather if I was like an online chat, I would rather chat with that. I don't like calling people, which is ironic because my podcast is I'm on the phone with Casey K. I don't know. I just something about being on the phone really gets me anxious, and it's so weird because my mom, if anyone knows my mom, she talks on the phone more than anybody I know. Like literally, she's probably on the phone as much as Kris Jenner. I'm not kidding, and she she doesn't even hesitate when like she needs to find something out. The first thing she does is call. I'm like, why don't we spend 25 minutes looking on the internet for a specific phone number that they don't want you to find, or a specific chat they don't want you to find because they don't want to even answer your questions. Like she'll just immediately call, and I'm like, how do you dare do that? I don't know. I don't know if it's because I can't read people's like bodily expressions when I'm on the phone. Like if I can see people's faces and how they're reacting, I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But I guess you can sense people's tones on the phone too. I just think it's kind of like text messaging. You really can't get a grasp on how people. I don't know. I guess people on the phone. Some people are really nice and some people are really mean, and I don't want to talk to a mean person. So I'm rambling at this point. What else was I talking about? eBay. Oh, the popcorn tin. Anyway, if you need something specific, and you kind of forget about eBay, I would check it out because I found pieces like for my car on there. Like basically rebuilt a lot of my car through eBay parts. I literally bought wheels on eBay for my car. What else? I think Sydney Sweeney's partnered with eBay, like Motors, because you can buy cars and stuff on there. Yeah, it's a great tool if you need something and you don't know where else to find it. A lot of times Amazon will have everything, but their magazines are hard to come by, you guys. They are. Anyway, how are you? How is everybody? I am back from Hawaii and I got really tan. At least like my shoulders and stuff, and my back, and my stomach, I guess. But it felt good. The sunshine felt so good, you guys. If you've never been to Hawaii, first of all, the flights there are really weird. Like you most likely always arrive at night, which is, I don't know why, and you always leave at night. Like my flight was a red eye on the way home, which was fine because I slept the whole way. I made sure not to take a nap so I could sleep, and I had a window. And you guys, I got upgraded both times to Comfort Plus. I haven't made first class yet, but I got upgraded to Comfort Plus. And I will say that extra leg room is very much appreciated. And I got a window seat both times. I checked my flight on the way home and they had upgraded me again. I'm like, yes. But then I saw they upgraded me to a middle seat. I'm like, oh no. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to check and see if they have anything else. And I was like, I honestly might go back to a regular seat and get if I can get a window. They had one seat left. It was still Comfort Plus and it was at a window. I was like, the Hawaiian gods are on my side at this moment because this is like a miracle. For me to get upgraded and for me to be able to still stay in the upgraded zone and get a window seat, there's nothing better. I watched The Haunted Mansion, the newest one, 3 times on the way home. And then I say watched, I started it and I fell asleep in the same spot every single time and woke up in the same spot every single time and just kept restarting it. So there's that. I love that movie. That movie's so good, you guys. If you haven't seen it, that's a really good one to see. Wow, what was I talking about? This might be a problem. I really don't know what I was talking about. Oh, Hawaii. Okay. If you've never been there, the airports are like outside. It's kind of like on Zoe 101, how like all the classrooms are outside, or on Easy A. I always wanted to go to a school like that where the lockers were outside, like under pavilions. I just think it'd be so cool. And the second you step off the plane, you just, it feels so good. And it's like the middle of the night and it's still warm. Like you just are enveloped in this like buttery soft air, and it's the perfect temperature, and you just feel happy. Everything is just, it's like a summer night in Utah, like in the middle of July, and not like to the point where it gets too cold. Like it never really gets cold there. And in the daytime, it only was like really super hot for a couple hours, I think. But if you go outside, um, it's like it's fine. And like they have options there. You get to pay for air conditioning. It's like $11 a day if you want it. But for honestly, you really don't need it. A lot of places we've stayed, they have like vents in the wall, like they look like shutters, and you can just open and close them, and the breeze goes through. And it's, you guys, it's perfection. If you're on the fence about going to Hawaii, I highly suggest going. We went to Kona this time, and it's really really pretty, and it's the Big Island, and we drove around the whole island one day, and it took like 6 hours. And we stopped at like the Volcano National Park. We went to like the lava tubes, which was awesome. We hiked to a waterfall, but this one was hard to find really good beaches. A lot of the beaches we went to were really rocky. Um, Really not any like sandy beaches, and I've heard Maui is the place for that. If you want like the white sand beaches, like there's just miles and miles of those in Maui. But the Big Island, they said, our tour guide, I learned this. It's the newest island, which I mean it's still old, but it's the newest of all of them, and so the beaches haven't really like uh, the rocks haven't like what do they call that? Disintegrated, I guess you could say, into sand yet. So it's just a lot of lava rocks everywhere. And honestly, we didn't find a beach we liked until the day we left. We were waiting for our flight, and we're like, well, we'll just go to this beach down the road. And it was like the perfect beach. It had sands everywhere. It was like, it was awesome. So if you're wanting to go to a beachy island, probably don't go to Kona. Kauai had good ones. Those are the only two I've been to, and I've heard Maui has really good ones. So there's that. Uh, yeah, my mom said she had no desire to ever go to Hawaii, and I think she's been back 4 or 5 times in the last 5 years. It's like since the first time she went, she's got hooked. So I suggest it. We also saw the inspiration for Moana, the the heart of Tafiti. Like the big mountain lady who gets mad because someone stole her heart or whatever. They showed us the rock formation that looks like her laying down. And as they were talking about it, I'm like, this sounds like a lot like Moana. And he's like, has anybody seen Moana? Like everyone raised their hand. And he's like, this is the inspiration. I was like, I knew it. I just knew it. I had a feeling. So that was fun. Yeah, Hawaii, you guys, it's amazing. It truly is like the best place ever. If you want to go somewhere too and relax, like I find myself going on these vacations that are not relaxing. Like I went to Florida one year and I did theme parks for 9 days, I think. And that's a lot. That is like an exhausting trip. Just being out in the sun and being walking around all day and waiting in line, like that was a lot, even for me. And I love theme parks. But I seem to go on vacations like that, or I go places, I'm like, well, we got to do stuff while we're here. But I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of in a zone where I want to go on vacation and do nothing. Like, I think all-inclusive resorts are going to be a regular thing in my future because I want to decompress, and I want to be bored, you know? I want to be bored and want to get back home and be productive. That's kind of how this trip was. It was like a really good refresh. I just did snorkeling. That's the only excursion I did this time. I kind of wish the last day you can night swim with manta rays, and I didn't do it mostly because I am trying to pay off my debt. And I actually did pretty good, you guys, on this trip. I only bought one thing, and it was a patch from the Volcano National Park to put on my blanket, and then food. That was all I bought. And so I was like, no, I don't think I will. And then it turns out like basically my whole family went. I'm like, maybe I should have gone night swimming. But they said it was really cool. But other than that, I just read my book, well, half my book. And for those of you who are like, just half the book, yes, that is a huge step for me because it takes me, I don't know, several months at this point to read a book because I just like have to fit it in little pockets of time that I have. And I took naps. Oh, it felt so good to take a nap. And like there's one day and it just started pouring rain. And I was watching Avengers Infinity War on TV, and I had the sliding glass doors open, and there's this giant tree outside my window, and I just watched the rain pour. And I went for a run. I went to the beach. Yeah, it was a good trip. It was really much needed. And I got home and I actually felt refreshed. So, yeah, there's that. When I got home, also, yeah, I got home. I had my friend Catherine take me to the airport and Dalton take me to the airport. And then on the way home, they were both working, so they couldn't come get me. But the track station is right outside their apartment. So I'm like, well, I'll just take the tracks from the airport to your house. People that take public transportation are true heroes. How do you spend that much time waiting for public transportation? It took me, for what would have been a probably 20-minute ride, if that, back from the airport, it took me like an hour and a half because you have to go and wait for the train, and it's like on the far side of the airport. Then you have to get off and get on a different train because the train you're on from the airport doesn't go to where you need to. And you have to wait for that train, and you have to stop like 20 times, and then you have to walk from the train station to the apartment. So I'm like, wow, this is like it's very nice that we have these available to us, and it cost me like $2. I'm like, you know what? That might have been worth it because Ubers are outrageous now, you guys. Do you remember when Ubers were like $4 and now it's like, I don't know, 45, if that? Yeah, so to all you that take public transportation, and maybe a lot of you don't take it as far as I do, or I had to, but I used to take the train, the actual front runner from Provo to Salt Lake every day for work, and I actually really liked it. Because I read so many books, I could take naps, you kind of just get to sit there and zone out, and I actually really enjoyed it. That was the old me. This is the new me. But yeah, so then I went to Catherine and Dalton's, and they work from home. I always like make fun of Catherine and say she doesn't work, but I will say that day she kept getting call after call after call. I'm like, God, maybe you do work. And it was like, she wasn't talking to customers, she was talking to other employees, like answering their questions and helping them and like doing stuff. I'm like, wow, Catherine actually works. I'm so surprised. I'm just kidding. She's actually really good at her job. But so she doesn't get off work till 9 p.m. And so we had to schedule the movie. We went and saw Dune for like 9:30. And I'm like, that's perfect. I'll just go to her house and I'll take a nap and it'll be great. And so I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay. I think I took a shower too. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll go in my bedroom so I don't disturb you. I was like, I promise you, you will not bother me one bit. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I promise. And if there's one thing about me, I don't have a hard time sleeping. Like, that is just a fact. I think it has a lot to do with my childhood. We were always driving. We were always like on the road doing stuff. And so I just learned to sleep wherever. Plus my mom's side of the family has been called the nappingest family in the entire world. And so we all can just sleep. We're very good at it. And I woke up what felt like, I don't know, 15 minutes later. And she's like, are you awake? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, did I sleep very long? And her and Dalton start laughing. They're like, yeah, you slept for 2 hours. I'm like, oh, that's not that bad. They're like, what? That's crazy. But I didn't hear her at all. I didn't hear her, like, I actually think that helps me. Having like background noise. That helps me a lot. A lot of times I fall asleep with music playing or like white noise. Like last night, oh you guys, it's so snowy here. Like so snowy. And it's been snowing for 2 days straight. And I've had my fire going and it just feels so good and comfortable. And hearing the fire crackling as I'm falling asleep last night was probably one of the best things I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like we looked outside this morning and I'm not kidding, we probably have like 8 inches of snow. And I mean that's great, but it's also what 2 weeks until spring. I'm like, where was this the beginning of December or like early winter? Anyway, yeah. What was I trying to say? Oh, I slept good at Catherine's, had a good, nice long rest, and then we went to Dune. And like I said, I saw my Wonka hat. I got my gummy worms. I got my popcorn. I got my Sprite. It was the best. That is like one of my favorite combos of all time. Gummy worms, popcorn from the movie theater, and Sprite. Just that hurt feeling. I started drinking Starry. It's that new kind of other version of Sprite. I think it's Pepsi's version. I wonder if they got rid of Sierra Mist. I went to Panda Express in Hawaii and they had Coca-Cola products, which is interesting. I wonder if all Panda Expresses have switched. If anyone has that information, let me know. I don't mind Pepsi. I don't drink Pepsi stuff, but like my cousin Sadie hates it. She's like, I think if people serve Pepsi products, they should be required to sell Coca-Cola products as well, because she hates Pepsi. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really bother me, but so I think Starry is their version of Sprite, and it's actually really good. I actually saw, I've seen lots of commercials for it and stuff, and then Maddie Murphy from the Bad Broadcast, she posted it on her story, and I asked her, I was like, hey, does that taste good? Does that drink good? Do you like it? I've been wondering about it, but I haven't tried it yet. And she's like, I really like it. So I bought it and tried it. It's really good. I will say it's a little more limey than I'm used to, but I don't love lime. I love lemon. Anything lemon. I love the look of lemons. I love the smell of lemons. I love lemon flavored anything. Lemon flavored cake from Nothing Bundt Cake. Oh, to die for, you guys. One of my favorite meals of all time is from California Pizza Kitchen, which they pulled all of them from Utah. I'm disgusted. And they have one at the airport. I know some of you are saying that. But the airport doesn't serve the chicken piccata from California Pizza Kitchen. They only serve like a certain amount of things. So I'm distraught. But they have chicken piccata and it's like lemon with capers and oh, it's so good. It's like pasta. Anyway, lemon is just delicious to me. I remember the first time I had one of those lime chips from what are they, like what, I forgot the name of it. What are they called? The ones you dip, tortilla chips? Yeah. And it was at a Super Bowl. It was at my friend Mandy's house, and I went upstairs to get some food, and I took a bite of that chip thinking it was just a normal tortilla chip, and it was hinted with lime, and I thought my life was ending. That was the worst thing I had ever eaten in my entire life. Like it haunted me for a long time, and it still kind of upsets me. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted, and truly to this day, that's like, I can't think of anything else I've tried that I've hated. Well, sushi. I started crying when I ate sushi, but this lemon or lime chip, awful, horrible, and they still sell them. It's awful, you guys. I know some of you are thinking I'm being over dramatic. I I can't explain to you. It's kind of like when Raven would get a vision and like that look on her face and like the camera pans out and spins, That's kind of how it was. No, this was how it was. The meme of Mr. Krabs where it's like all blurry around him and like there's so much going on and he's like confused. That's what I looked like when I ate that chip. It's horrible. It was horrible. So needless to say, I will be sticking with Sprite because it's a little more lemony. But yeah. So Dune. Should we talk about Dune? Sorry. Dune. Dune Part 2. Really, really good. I watched Dune, the first one, in Hawaii. And that's the first time we'd seen it since theaters. Really, really good. Came out in 2021. It is now 2024. Granted, I will give them this. It was supposed to come out last year, I think, in like October, but the strike pushed it back, which I don't understand that. If the movie's finished, why did it take so long for you to come out with it afterwards? I wonder if they wanted it to be a good Oscar nominate, a runner up or runner for the Oscars. So maybe that's why they pushed it until after. But I feel like the Oscars, when's the cutoff? I think it's different for music. I think the cutoff for music is the end of October, beginning of November, and movies like I swear some Oscar movies come out like 2 days before the Oscars. So that might be why. But let's not do that again. Let's not wait 3, almost 4 years for another sequel to come out. We're running out of time. We don't have time to keep waiting for all these franchises to spend decades coming out with 3 movies. Like, I swear Harry Potter movies came out super quick. I could be wrong, but I think they did. Um, let's do it like that. TV shows, Stranger Things. These kids are going to be 60 by the time this next season comes out. Uh, let's just get it going. Let's keep the pace up. I think Emily in Paris takes over a year for one season to come out, and this episodes are like, I don't know, there's like 10 maybe. Could be wrong, but that's how it is. And I saw someone today. They're like, why do people or what was it? They said something about people watching old shows like Gossip Girl, the original, Friends, like all these shows, and it's like why are people watching all these old TV shows? Oh, it was attached to that new movie. What was it about? It's got Michelle Yeoh in it. I heard it was super popular, but Netflix canceled it after one season, and people are like, we like watching these old shows because we're so sick of all these shows getting canceled after one season, and we hate getting attached to all these different characters and stuff, and then Netflix just cancels it after one season, after 3.5 episodes. So yeah, I don't know. Outer Banks, you need to hurry up. Emily in Paris, you need to hurry up. Stranger Things. What other movies or what other shows are on Netflix or Hulu? Anyway, one show that has come out quicker is Kardashians. I think we'll get the new one really, really, really soon. But they can just bust those out like crazy fast. Anyway, Dune. Dune made $81.1 million. I know it sounds like I just read that off of paper, but I promise you I'm not. Opening weekend in the US, it made 180 million globally worldwide for opening box office. So that's pretty big. That's a big movie. And I will say I think it deserves that. I think it has like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, we don't really let critics tell us how to feel about movies, but that's a pretty good indication that it might be, someone, one of the critics, I think it was Wall Street Journal, or it was a pretty big like publication. They're like, Dune lacked whimsy and comical relief or something, and someone's like, who goes into that movie thinking it's gonna be whimsical and have comic relief? And someone's like, I guess this guy thought he was seeing Wonka because of this description. And it's like, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. These critics go in there thinking that they need to be all like, theological, or I don't even know if that's the right word. Like, just like really philosophical about all these movies. And it's like, no, just watch the movie and enjoy it. We don't need this deep dossier thesis on why a movie didn't meet your expectations. So that's what I'm saying. If you go into Dune thinking it's gonna be whimsical, just leave. Just don't even write the freaking article, because like I don't know. When I talk about critics and how they annoy me, that is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Anyway, moving on. The movie was really, really good, and it had Zendaya in it a lot more this time. Rebecca Ferguson. So I become like Brittany Broski. She is my newest obsession. Like, I've always liked her, and the scene in this is The Greatest Showman. This is us. The Greatest Showman, where she's singing. I still get chills of that thinking about that scene. And she's always been in like my mind as a really good actress, but she's been in a lot more than I realized. She's like pretty well known, I think, in the acting world to be like probably like Jessica Chastain level of an actress, just that good. Jessica Chastain is probably my favorite actress of all time. She's just brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. But I saw an article. Well, I watched Dune and she was in that, and then that night I watched the new Mission Impossible, and she's in that too. And I'm like, I forgot she was in these movies. And then I went and kind of did more like research into what she's in. And I forgot she was in the Girl on the Train, which that movie's really good. And then she did an article or an interview where she said a male actor co-star, he was like the number one on the call sheet. So apparently if you're number one on the call sheet, you can't question somebody, or they can't question you, and you can do whatever you want and you can get away with stuff. And she said he was so rude to her, which is so weird because she's a great actress. And she said I fumbled my lines a little bit and he just screamed at me. And she's like, I didn't know what to do. I was just kind of shocked. And the next day I went up to him and she's like, he can get the F off the set or I'm leaving or something. And they're like, well, he can't because he's number one. She's like, okay, then he can turn around. Or no. She's like, I'll talk to a tennis ball for the rest of the movie. I don't want him to be around me. And they're like, well, we can't do that. She's like, fine, he can turn around. I'll talk to the back of his head, but I'm not talking to him. And anyway, so Dwayne Johnson saw it kind of went viral, this whole thing. Dwayne Johnson saw the interview and he's like, this makes me so upset because Rebecca Ferguson was like my savior, my guardian angel on the set. And I had to Google, they were in Hercules together. And he's like, whoever did this, I'd like a word with you or something. And I'm like, oh, could you imagine if The Rock was looking for you to literally probably beat the shit out of you? I would be so terrified. And someone's like, someone woke up today and looked at the internet and realized that The Rock is looking for them. So just know you're having a better day than them. But they ruled out it's probably not Hugh Jackman. It's probably not, obviously not The Rock. They listed off several different people. Some people think it's Michael Fassbender and someone else. Hang on, let me look it up. Okay, I pulled up this article from Cosmopolitan, and I was wrong. She wasn't the one messing up the lines. It was the other person. So she said, I remember there was a moment and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and comfortable that I got screamed at. But because this person was number one on the call sheet, there was no safety net for me. So no one had my back. And I would cry walking off set. This person would literally look at me in front of the whole crew and say, you call yourself an actor? This is what I have to work with. What is this? And I just stood there breaking. And that's when she said, she came in the next day and she's like, I'm not doing this. So people are speculating. She did say it wasn't Hugh Jackman or Tom Cruise. She said that herself. So people are thinking it is either Hugh Grant or Gustav Skarsgård. I don't even know who that is. I'm guessing he's related to the Skarsgårds. I did hear Catherine told me about this interview with Stellan Skarsgård where he's really mean to the actress. He's like, that was a really stupid question. Why'd you ask me that? And I'm like, that's basically a question. She asked what was his favorite thing to do on set. Like, what was his favorite memory from set? He's like, that is a TikTok answer or question. Like, that is a stupid question. She's like, all you have to say is no, I don't want to answer that question. I think that's really weird. Anyway, so not Tom Cruise, not Hugh Jackman, and people said it wasn't Emily Blunt either, which I can't imagine Emily Blunt being mean to anybody. And then obviously The Rock, who tweeted that thing, but yeah. Anyway, back to Brittany Broski and obsessions. Rebecca Ferguson is my current obsession. She is in top rankings of my best actor booklet. She's fun. She's fun on set. Her look at Dune premiere was amazing. She was saying, I think it was in the same interview. They asked how what her acting preference was, like if she did anything to warm up or anything. She's like, no, not really. I'm kind of one of those people that's like, okay, like, so this next scene you want me to die, this next scene you want me to do this, like, okay, whatever. And she's like all silly and goofy, and then she goes and does the scene and then just goes right back to being her like silly old self after that. And I'm like, that is a true actor to me, not the whole method acting, like I have to be in character at all times to stay in character. Like people that can just flip like a switch on and off and just do these scenes, that's to me a really, really good actor. The people like Austin Butler who have to carry on this accent thing for so long. I like Austin Butler a lot, do not get me wrong, but it's like, come on, let's just stop. If you just stopped immediately right now with that accent, we wouldn't question you, we wouldn't say anything, we would just move on like nothing happened. We wouldn't judge you, we wouldn't ridicule you. Like, I feel like he thinks he has to draw this out, and it's like, no, let's just be done with it. I want to show you a TikTok Catherine sent me. It's like the Dune red carpet, and there's like all of them introducing themselves, and then it gets to Austin Butler. Okay, hang on, let me turn the volume up. It's so accurate. It's just so funny. I have to share.
What's up, y'all? It's Timothy Chalamet.
And Zendaya.
And Austin.
And Austin. And Austin.
So if you didn't get the end part, it's another guy stitching the video, making fun of him. But enough. Anyway, Rebecca Ferguson, our newest obsession, the newest it girl, the newest, although I didn't love her character in Dune, she kind of freaked me out because it was like she was, what am I trying to say? Really pressing hard for people to follow their religion type thing, cult following. But I get why she was doing it. I guess I shouldn't say. I won't spoil it. I'll talk about it in a few weeks, like more in depth, because I want people to see this movie still. But one thing I did, the movie was great, obviously, and they did a really good job. Timothée Chalamet did fantastic. I know Kylie's proud of him. But who is in charge in this movie? Because everyone I think is in charge, turns out they're not in charge. They're not the highest ruler. Like, Austin Butler does a really good job in this. He's kind of like crazy loco. And I thought his uncle, Stellan Skarsgård, the one that yelled at that interview, was the emperor of all. But then it turns out it was someone else. It was Florence Pugh's dad who was actually in charge, but I thought Timothée Chalamet's dad was in charge, which I found out he was just like was it a duke or a lord or something? So probably like a governor, if we're doing it in like terms of those. But then at the end, well, I shouldn't say that either. Anyway, there's just a lot of people that are in charge, and I'm like, who's in charge here? Who is the person that is in charge in this place? So I don't know. If you guys can tell me, let me know. I don't know. I don't think it's ending yet, but let's please not wait 4 years to release the next one, you guys. Let's pick it up just a little bit faster. Yeah. Anyway, go see Dune. It's great. I wasn't able to see it in IMAX or XD because literally they were all sold out. I mean, we still got to see it on a huge screen and it was awesome, but I kind of want to go back and see it like in a massive theater with a huge screen and like the really good surround sound. But yeah, if you're wondering if you should see a movie and you're not sure which one, go see Dune because it is great. It is, it's like people are saying on threads and Twitter and stuff, cinema is back. And gotta say, it's kind of true. I think we're going to get a lot of good movies this year. Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, though, they're doing a Jungle Cruise 2. That makes me so happy. That is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. That is the movie I lost my wallet at. We were at Disneyland, me, my cousin, and my brother, and we're like, let's go see a movie. And so we did. I think it was the first night we got there. Was it the first night we got there? And so we really weren't going to the park. We were going the next day. And I am usually very self-aware of my stuff. I hate losing things. Like, I hate it so much. I know everyone hates losing things, but it drives me absolutely crazy to lose anything. I lost my car registration a couple months ago, and I looked and searched everywhere, and finally I had to just give in and go get a new one. And then a couple days later, I'm in a different car, and I open the middle console, and it's in there. I'm like, oh, I lost my wallet twice. Once was because I was being very reckless, and I had quite a lot of Grey Goose in my system. The first time was at Disneyland. Well, I guess it was at the movie theater next to Disneyland. And my wallet had fallen out of my lap, and I left it on the seat. And I didn't realize it till the next day when we were getting ready to go to Disneyland. And I went back and looked for it, and it was gone. And then we looked, and someone had been trying to charge on it, so they obviously took it. Jungle Cruise, so that's the memory that comes up. That was also the summer, that week. Billie Eilish, her Happier Than Ever album had just released, and so she had that partnership with Disney where she did the concert series for that album, which is really good. You should go watch it. It's on Disney Plus still. And I just remember her poster being everywhere, on buses, on billboards, everywhere, all over Disney, like downtown Disney. And it's the really good album cover where she's got the blonde hair. And I remember listening to that album for the first time after we got back from the park. That was a good trip. That was a really good trip. So thank you to my cousin Jessica and my brother Pete for just being the easiest people to do anything with. They are seriously the most easygoing, go with the flow people of all time. And if you know them, you know I'm exactly right, because they are. And so those trips are fun because we're like, oh, we should do this. Okay, let's do that. Oh, we should do this next. Okay, let's do that. Like, it's just so easy. And so yeah. Anyway, Jungle Cruise 2 coming out. I don't know when, but hopefully soon. Let's see. Let me look at my little notes. Oh, okay. I have to wind it back to my first statement. I was getting on the plane to go from Seattle to Salt Lake. That was my layover, was in Seattle, which I freaking hate that airport. But I get on the plane, and in first class, mind you, from Seattle to Salt Lake, like an hour and a half flight probably, are two children with their iPads in these ginormous seats, just as content as can be. And I kind of looked at them and I'm like, I don't know you, but I hate you. What? How? Like, there's seriously like 3 feet of space on each side of them. And I'm like, do you know how nice that would be to have that much space as a 6'1" grown man? All this space, like, they're literally kicking their legs, like, not like obnoxious. They were actually really well behaved. I will give them that. And I obviously don't hate them, but it's out of pure jealousy. They're like swinging their legs. They have so much leg room. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what do people do that they can fly first class and they can afford for their children to fly first class for an hour and a half flight? Like, I would get it if it was like a really long flight and you wanted everyone to be comfortable or whatever. But I'm so envious anytime I walk through first class. First of all, it's weird that first class boards first. I can't remember what his name is. He has a podcast on Dear Media. But he's like, I mean, I've always thought this. It's like, board the end of the plane first. Board from back to front. Doesn't it make sense? Because then all the first class people have to watch all the poor people walk through their area. It's like, they don't want that. It's just weird to me. And why would you want to be on an airplane longer than you have to be? That doesn't make sense to me either. And then at the end, first class people get off, and then it goes from, like, how you get off a plane. You go from front to back. Unless you're one of those people that tries to, like, storm the plane and get off is like from the very back row. Anyway, I just had to express my frustration on seeing little children being able to fly first class with their iPads in their laps and, doing just whatever they want because their parents have money. And I just wish their parents would adopt me because I need money as well. Okay, sorry, this is going a lot longer. I feel like I've been talking about myself for so long. Let's go through these little notes that I have. Miley and Pharrell released a new song, and it's not my favorite. It's not bad. It's okay. It's definitely not one I'm probably gonna have on my playlist. It's called what is it called? Doctor. It's called Doctor, and it was, I guess, supposed to come out during the Bangers era, and I definitely get that vibe from it. Taylor Swift is the first artist to reach 100 weeks on Billboard #1. She beat the Beatles. I think that is... I could be wrong. I mean, I'll double check and let you know next week, because I swear I saw something where she's been 60 weeks at #1 and she's beat the Beatles finally. So I don't know what this is. Anyway, Adele postponed her residency again. I will say Adele is probably the most canceling artist I've witnessed myself. She's canceled more shows than anybody I know. And I'm not saying like that's, if you're sick, whatever. But like Katy Perry and Taylor Swift will sing and perform even when they have the flu. I know it because I think 2 of their concerts I've been to, they've been sick. And I would have known. But I will say Adele hits a lot higher and more boisterous notes than these guys do. So maybe that has something to do with it. But just be aware, if you buy Adele tickets, which I don't know how you can because they're literally impossible to get, and she cancels or postpones, just don't be surprised because that's just how it goes. So she's postponed her shows in March until I think May. So there's that. I'm sorry if you did not get in to see her, get like me. You didn't get tickets because I didn't, and I tried really hard and I had very good odds, but it just didn't work out, and that's okay. Hang on, I need to Google something really quick just for my next topic I want to talk about. So there's a school, I guess, in New York. I'm guessing that's where it's at. And this lady went, she's a billionaire. No, not that. Not that either. Lori Loughlin. No, that's not the one. Okay, here we go. Her husband was a Wall Street investor, and she used to be a professor at this institution, the Albert Einstein Institution. Why does it keep pulling up? So I googled lady paying tuition, and all that keeps coming up is Lori Loughlin paid $500,000 college tuition fees for 2 students. Is fooling... What? Oh, footing the bill. I thought it said fooling. She paid for their tuition. First of all, if tuition only covers 2 people and it's $500,000, that's disgusting. Like, I think we need to reevaluate a lot of things. That is a horrifying notion to think that only $500,000 only covers 2 people's tuition. Let's reevaluate ourselves here. Sorry, I guess I can't type and talk at the same time. Okay, here we go. Dr. Ruth Gottesman, 93, who spent 55 years as the chair of the school's board, made a historic donation in the name of her late husband, David Sandy Gottesman, who was an early investor of Berkshire Hathaway and longtime friend of Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett. Berkshire Hathaway is Warren Buffett's company, if you guys didn't know that. He actually owns the company I work for, and several others: Dairy Queen, Burger King, Geico, Justin Boots, Pampered Chef, like 4 other furniture stores. Anyway, he was an investor on Wall Street, and she pledged to pay $1 billion to the school, and it covers everyone's tuition. I'm like, this is what rich people should do. If I was rich, this is what I would do. Like, they recorded the audience's reaction because obviously they knew it was going to get, a lot of people excited. And they were so happy. This is a medical school. And they were jumping and screaming and crying. And I'm like, this is what should happen. This is what should be happening when rich people have money. We should be doing stuff like this. Not asking countries to take down entire bridges so your yacht can fit underneath the bridge or go through the canal. Like, this is what you should be doing. So good job, Ruth. I applaud you. This is what should be happening. But after reading that Lori Loughlin paid $500,000 for two people's tuition, I don't know if it's going to last as long as I thought it would. But yeah, so tuition is free for people to go to this school now. And I think that's great because imagine that. Imagine people not having to stress about paying to go to school, and they can actually put all their energy and focus into studying and getting good grades and making sure they're learning as much as they can. Yeah, I think that's really cool. If I ever get rich, you guys, I promise you right now, I will do stuff like that. So as I say from my mom's basement. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Sweeney and Kacey Musgraves were on SNL, and it was really good. Kacey Musgraves' voice is like butter. It is like the equivalent of my fire crackling while I'm falling asleep in my nice warm bed. I just can't even explain it. I can't even explain how soothing her voice is. And Sydney Sweeney, I just love her so much. The more I see her, the more I love her. She is just kind. She's funny. She's one of those people that's not afraid to try things and do things, and she's not afraid to look dumb. You know what I mean? She's not afraid to look like I don't try things because I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look like an idiot. And I don't think she's that way. She's like the valedictorian of her school. She's on a ski team in her school. Like she just is not afraid to try things, and I think that's awesome. And this episode was funny. This episode was good. I actually recorded I didn't record it. My cousin Georgie did a video I'm going to post on TikTok. I put it on my story. It pans from watching Sydney Sweeney do her monologue to me sitting on the couch with my Wonka hat, bucket full of popcorn, and my Taylor Swift cup, surrounded by all my magazines. And the sound is, I think I like this little life. So I'm going to post it on TikTok. So you guys better go and like that and repost it and get it, share it. Also, thank you for everyone who liked my photo, and those of you that didn't, I know who you are. I mean, it's okay, but I know who you are. And, you should get on that. You should go like my photos from Hawaii because I went out of my comfort zone. I took my actual digital camera and took selfies, which is why the pictures look better, I will say. I like my iPhone. I do think it's a lemon, and I know my friend Jackson's going to call me and ask what's wrong with it. And trust me, I will have notes. It just glitches, and I don't think it's as good. And he'll tell me it's because my camera's dirty. But I don't know if I have this problem just myself or if it's anyone else, but I'll be taking a selfie on my phone, and it looks really good. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then I take the selfie, and it turns into the most god-awful, hideous, ugly picture I've ever seen. Like, extreme detail. It looks like I've been out in the sun for 75 years. And it looks like you can see every pore, every grease pool on my face. I'm like, this is not the photo I took. I would never have pushed take picture. I know that's not what it says. I never would have pushed the button to take the picture if I looked like that. I can guarantee you. It is like the most detailed. It's like someone put the microscope up to my face, up to the camera lens, to my face. That is what it looks like. So what I'm getting at is I took pictures with my digital camera, and they look a lot better. But yeah, there's that. So I don't know how I got on that subject. Oh, anyways, go like that. Go like those photos. They're on Facebook and they're on Instagram. Sorry, guys. I have so much to talk about, but I'm gonna have to run it short. Firework by Katy Perry reached 1 billion streams on Spotify. And for those of you who are saying, like, okay, who cares? The fact that this album, these songs are getting more streams than most albums and songs ever, and it's 14 years old, that's huge. That is massive. She's pulling in numbers. She hasn't, mind you, she hasn't released a song since New Year's of 2022. That is the last time she's released a song. A solo song, I guess. I could be wrong. She released that one with Thomas Rhett, like 4 months after it or something, which is still good. She hasn't released an album since 2020. It's been 4 years. And for her to keep pulling these numbers, she's still... Should we see what number she is on Spotify? This is what I do. I just search celebrities and what their ranking is on Spotify. Like, that's what I do for my free time. She is still 30th in the world. And she hasn't released an album in 4 years. And the last album, people would say was a flop, which I liked it. I loved it. It's a really good album. But it didn't really go anywhere. It didn't really chart. People didn't talk about it. So yeah, 58 million listeners a month, which is crazy. 50 billion. This is old because in her 12 years at Capitol, so this isn't even an accurate description anymore. 50 billion streams worldwide, along with 47 million adjusted album sales and 135 million tracks. That's crazy. So she was like, I would say, I was thinking about this yesterday. She's the queen of digital sales, the music era. There was physical, which is obviously CDs, cassette tapes, records. That's the physical music era. The digital was iTunes, where you purchased each song in each album that way. And Katy was the ruler of that, I will say. Also, I just found out that Born This Way was Billboard's hot number 1,000th hot number 1 song. That's pretty cool. Anyway, now we're in the streaming era. And the digital era didn't last very long at all. It probably lasted, 10 years or something. I mean, you can still buy stuff on digital, but I don't think anybody does. And I honestly don't know what would be next. What's going to come next. I think it's just going to be streaming from here on out. But yeah. Anyway, Firework, last Friday night, and Dark Horse. Dark Horse has 1.3 billion streams. So that's pretty amazing. That's pretty good for someone who hasn't released music in that long. I feel her slowly crawling back into the hearts of Americans. She's never left my heart. I will say that. I know a lot of you abandoned her in her time of need, but I didn't. I've been here the entire time. And I just like seeing that. I like seeing people actually thinking, oh, actually, like, I don't know why I didn't like her. And yeah, I just think it's weird that a lot of people stop liking her because of her haircut. I think that's really bizarre. Because several other people have dyed their hair and changed their hair up, and no one really batted an eye. So, I don't know. Like Miley Cyrus, when she cut her hair, people didn't abandon her. They thought she was, like, lunatic, crazy, but she was still liked. Speaking of Miley Cyrus, though, so I just found this information out recently, and it's Tish Cyrus. She married that guy, Dominic Purcell, who I didn't know he was an actor. I guess he was in Prison Break. Apparently, he used to date Noah Cyrus, which it's a huge age gap. It's 30 years. And I always wondered why the family was so torn up. Like, Miley and her dad don't speak anymore. And it was rumored that she doesn't like her dad's fiance. I heard that she knew her dad's fiance, or I guess he's married now, his wife, before. For some reason, I thought she was a part of, like, a backup dancer, but I couldn't find anything of the sort while I was doing research. So I will get back to you on that. But yeah, and now it makes sense as to why. So Miley doesn't acknowledge her dad at all. Like, in her acceptance speeches, she didn't acknowledge her dad. She acknowledged her mom. Her and Noah don't speak. And she was, saw a clip of her on the Joe Rogan podcast where they were talking about Noah, and she's like, yeah, she just came out with the most sad, depressing EP of all time. And so it kind of, I think that rubbed Noah the wrong way. Noah doesn't talk to her mom, obviously, because she literally married her hookup guy. And I don't know. I think that's weird. I think that's really weird. I'm just going to say it. And so that makes a lot of sense. And I don't know. Billy Ray looks scary now. Have you guys seen pictures of him? He looks kind of frightening. Yeah, so there's that. If you're having a bad day, just know that your mom, it could be worse. Your mom could marry the person you were dating. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara, you guys turned 70 years old today. I just love her. I love her so much. I watched Schitt's Creek on the way to Hawaii, and I'm like, this show is just so good. This show is so good. It'll always be in my top 10 favorite shows. It's just comforting. It's great. I love it. I love it. Let's see, the Brit Awards were this weekend, and Dua Lipa performed, and she killed it yet again. She did Training Season, which that song, you guys, is phenomenal. That song is so good. It has crack in it, I swear. Every time you listen to it, you just want to keep listening to it. It's one of those songs that's fun to sing. It's like, got a lot of words in it, and you just like rattle them off, and at the end you just feel like a bad bitch, because it's one of those songs that's just so fun to sing. And I don't know how she did it, because you really can't see, but obviously the dancers were attached to some kind of string, but like it's just a bunch of guys like hanging in the air, kind of making this like tunnel thing, and it just looks like they're floating. It looks really cool. Anyway, she did great. Ray, who sings Escapism, one of the greatest songs in my opinion, won 6 Brit Awards, including Album of the Year, which I love because her label gave her the hardest time, like leaving her contract. They wouldn't work with her. They wouldn't like help her promote songs. And I'm pretty sure they said that she would never make it. And so the fact that she won 6 Brit Awards is insane to me. She deserves it. What? Oh, Rihanna, so the first thing I saw about this whole thing was she performed at this wedding ceremony. It was like a pre-wedding ceremony for India's richest person, richest family. The guy is worth $116 billion. So there's that. And his youngest daughter, was getting married, and they paid Rihanna, I've heard, between 5 and 9 million. The number I'm seeing the most is 6 million. But she performed at their wedding ceremony, pre-wedding ceremony. But someone recorded all of her stuff for her stage showing up, and it was like pallets and pallets of huge crates and stuff. And they're like, this is Rihanna's stuff she brought for her concert. And she commented, she's like, sorry, it wouldn't fit in the carry-on. But could you imagine getting Rihanna? It's like she hasn't done a concert in 8 years. Like the last one obviously was the Super Bowl last year. Other than that, she hasn't done a concert in 8 years. So to get Rihanna to come out of hiding and to perform for you is pretty impressive, I gotta say. We keep hearing we're getting music from her. I won't believe it till I see it. Hopefully it's true, because she does have really good songs. But at the same time, she gave us so much for so long, like back to back to back to back. And it's like, okay, you deserve a break. You worked really hard. We'll give you that. But it's time, Rihanna. It is time. Please come back. Okay, one last thing and I'll finish up. Two last things and I'll finish up. Kylie Jenner is coming out with a new fragrance. It's called Cosmic. It comes out March 7th, which is Thursday? Is it Thursday or Friday? Anyway, it's called Cosmic. I'm not sure how much it is. I couldn't get a price. And the bottle looks funky, but it's meant to fit in the palm of your hand comfortably, I guess. That's what she's going for. I will be purchasing. I will be buying. I'll keep you in... I was going to say suspense. That's not what I was looking for. I'll keep you informed on how it smells But she says she's been working on it for like years. So we'll see how it works out. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be great. Because the one thing about the Kardashians is they really don't put out a mediocre product. I mean, sure, there are some things that are liked less than others that they've done. But they really do put out good quality stuff. So there's really never been something I've got that I've been like, this is okay. Like all of Kim's fragrances are so good. Kylie's, if you guys are looking for like a lower priced skincare line, I would definitely look into Kylie's Skin because it is pretty well priced and it does a really good job, I will say. Same with Jessica Alba's company, Honest. That's where I get a lot of my stuff from. And that's even cheaper, I think, than Kylie's. And it's really good quality, and it's like really clean because that's pretty much the whole idea of Jessica Alba's entire company is clean products. So yeah, I will be purchasing that, and I'll let you know how it goes, how it smells. Okay, last thing is Nicole Kidman. She's obviously well known for being an amazing actress and actor. She's probably in a top actor bracket for me too. She has that infamous, I guess I shouldn't say infamous, is infamous bad. She has that famous AMC commercial that kind of like went viral. Like people literally dressed up as her for Halloween. And she has 3 more commercials for AMC because it, went so well. So I guess they're saying goodbye to that commercial, and 3 more will play simultaneously throughout AMC's, movies throughout the next year or whatever. I think Utah only has 2 AMC theaters. There's one in Provo and one in West Jordan. Could be wrong. Those are the only ones I know of. But yeah, if you want to see Nicole Kidman's commercials, go to those theaters. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about, you guys. I'm sorry. I guess I don't have to end. It's my podcast. I can do whatever the hell I want. But I gotta get out. I gotta brave the snow. I've gotta go. I got stuff to do today. But yeah, this year is gonna be a good year for me. I will say. I don't know why I just got really like sentimental, but a lot of changes are gonna be happening this year for me, and I'm excited. I'm nervous. More excited than nervous. I just feel like with this podcast, I've really found what I love to do, and I've been able to see a way I can make it a job. And there's that cliche saying, find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do. And I've really felt lost for the last 6-ish years. And it's just really hard because I'm like, all these people around me, they're either getting married or having families or going to school. Now everyone's like graduating and getting really good jobs, and like their hard work is finally paid off. Some people have dropped out of school and found other careers that they enjoy. People have moved to really cool cities, and I'm just kind of here, and I just don't know what I want to do. I know I want to, sorry, I said it like that. I know I want to be my own boss. I know I want to travel. I know I want to do something on my own. And I just have never figured out what I could do to be able to do that. And so to have this now, it's really fun because I have so much fun doing this, you guys. You have no idea. This is like, I mean, what a better life than this, to sit in my room, my comfy chair, and talk about celebrities. I can literally do that for free, so I'll do it no matter what, even if I don't make a whole lot of money. But yeah, I'm fine. Like, I can just see a path to, being my own boss now, and it makes me really happy and excited. So this year will have some sad things to it, and things will come to an end, but it'll have a really good fresh start, and exciting things. I really don't like change. I know no one loves change. That's not true. Some people actually do like change and they look forward to it. I don't. I have a very, very hard time with change. I have a very hard time with the fact that I'll miss things, and it's hard for me to go on to other things easily. It just makes me sad to step away from other things. But change is necessary, change is needed. But yeah, here I am, just a boy, talking about pop divas and blockbuster movies, and I couldn't be happier. Anyway, have a happy week. It's March, you guys. Finally, it's almost springtime. Doesn't look like it if you live in Utah and you look outside. Also, if you want a good laugh, Google or go on TikTok or whatever and type in tumbleweeds in Utah. And in Eagle Mountain, my friend Mackenzie posted a picture. They live out there. That she reposted a video of all the tumbleweeds after that massive windstorm we had. And it's actually hilarious. It's so funny. So go watch that and make your week a little happier. Start your week off positive by watching funny tumbleweed videos. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I love you all, and go like all my photos on Instagram, and yeah, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Threads, follow me on Instagram. Just like everything I do, you guys. That's the moral of the story. Just like everything that I do. All right, bye.